What's going on, guys? It's Mr. DEBT Joe Lorick from the Money Etiquette Group here to talk about Urban One. I'm doing a follow-up video on my previous video. If you subscribe to my channel, you know that in the last 6 to 7 months, I came out with a video about Urban One, highlighting them as one of the few Black-owned, publicly traded companies. I talked about their profitability. I talked about their numbers. But ultimately, I talked about how you could invest in the company if you wanted to. And I am an investor, by the way. But again, I want to talk and follow up today because there's an opportunity that's presenting itself within the next 30 days leading up to June 19th, Juneteenth. We'll get into that later. It's an opportunity to possibly see something similar to what we saw in 2020, which is a short squeeze of epic proportions. I'm talking about 1,000 to 2,000% gains within a very short period of time. That could happen with Urban One, but we'll talk about it. We'll discuss it. Just make sure you like, share, comment, and we'll see what we have to look forward to possibly with Urban One. All right, so really quickly, if you're not familiar with Urban One, we're talking about a Black-owned media company. They have control over Radio One, which is a lot of your popular radio stations for R&B, hip-hop, old school R&B. They also control TV One, which is a channel that some of your cable subscribers provide. They also put on shows, concerts. I believe they are in business. At least they have a 10% stake in the MGM Grand Casino in right outside of DC. So these are the businesses they're pretty much involved in. I know they have a website, a streaming platform, or at least they may not have a streaming platform, but they have content available on streaming platforms. Let me put it that way. But this company is a profitable company. They're in the black, they're making money. And ultimately, this isn't about how good the company is, how nice they are, how much money they make. It's about opportunity. So if you were paying attention to the charts, you looked at what happened in 2020. Look, something very strange, something unique happened in 2020, which was a huge short squeeze with Urban One, UONE and UONEK. What happened was, unbeknownst to Urban One, there was a movement on the back of what happened with George Floyd and several other murders, I will call it, by police officers for Black people, Black men and women. And there was a movement to invest in Black. It was invest in local Black businesses, and also a movement to say invest in Black publicly shared or public companies. Because Urban One was very well known, that was a company that a lot of people chose to invest in. So as people were shorting the stock and people were saying, well, this isn't going anywhere, all of a sudden, within a matter of a week, and I'm talking about leading up to Juneteenth, and we'll get into what that was or what that is later, we saw the stock go up 1,000 to 2,000%, again, in a very short period of time. And now we're looking at 2021, and it could happen again, but it could be better than what happened in 2020. Here are the reasons why. In addition to Juneteenth, which is coming up, the celebration of Juneteenth, you also have the 100th anniversary at the end of May coming up when it comes to the Tulsa massacre, which is Black Wall Street. You hear a lot about Black Wall Street. You hear about what happened, how you had a community of Black people that was making a lot of money off of oil, but different businesses where the money circulated within the community, and then they were massacred. Then they were killed, and their businesses were burned down by some angry white folk. Okay, that's what happened. And this is the 100th anniversary of such thing. And of course, this will also be the anniversary of the death of George Floyd, amongst other things that are going on. And because of all these things going on, people are betting that Urban One will once again go through a short squeeze where a lot of people come in and they invest in Urban One because they want to buy Black. They want to invest in Black. But there's bigger news that happened outside of that. That's big news by itself. But then recently, it was announced that Urban One, while they were competing with about 6 other casino companies, they've been chosen by an advisory board to be recommended to City Council and the mayor to be the one and only casino in Richmond, Virginia. Now, what's happening right now is tonight, the mayor is going to present the case for Urban One to City Council. In another week, City Council will vote if they're going to allow Urban One to be added to the ballots for the November election so that the people can ultimately choose whether they're going to allow a casino in Richmond, which will be Urban One, or not. We'll see where that goes. But the positive news about that is by Urban One, if they get through this, if they get into the gaming business, not just the casino business, but the entertainment business, the hotel business, the gaming business, this won't be the last casino that's opened by Urban One. And of course, if they get the casino, if everything goes through, you're talking about the only Black-owned casino operating in the United States. The only one. So this is big time news. Now, will it happen? It's likely. But there are going to be several steps until you get to that point. Again, you do have a vote coming up in June. And then in November, you have votes by the general public. But let's talk about the stock price really quickly. Again, in this short squeeze. Remember all the news I just brought up. You have the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa massacre. You have the George Floyd death, murder anniversary. You have the Buy Black anniversary. And you have Juneteenth. And if you're not familiar with Juneteenth, Juneteenth is a celebration of when the last slaves, or at least known last slaves in America, were set free. We all know that in January 1st, 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation became law and that all slaves in the United States were free. However, just because that was the law, we know how things work, that doesn't mean that everyone's let go at the same time. 2.5 years later, before some slaves in Texas were freed, when that happened, it was June 19th, I believe, 1865. And because of that, we celebrate since that point Juneteenth. At first, only a few churches and a few groups in Texas celebrated that. Now it's a national celebration. More people celebrate Juneteenth today than they did in the last 100 years. So we have a lot of people celebrating Juneteenth. And in reference to that, what people do sometimes to celebrate is buy and invest in Black. And again, Urban One is one of the few Black-owned companies that are publicly traded and also that are profitable. Okay, we're talking about a company that's in a black. If you look at their last quarter, they're in the black. They're making money. They're in profits. So they're sitting on a nice amount of money. Their books look good. You have all this movement. And on top of that, you have the historical data, which says there may be another squeeze because of so many people trying to get shares of Urban One, which is a small cap company. Okay, there aren't but maybe 17 million, maybe 13 million at this point. It might even be 7 million shares available to the general public. That's all that's outstanding. So we're talking about, again, a small cap company that could get, at least over the last week, you're talking about activity in the in the 45 million volume, in the 50 million volume. For such a small company, that is huge. That's a lot of activity. So what does all this mean? If you're investing, I want you to take this note. I want you to remember this. Number one, I, Joseph, am not your financial advisor. I'm not offering you professional financial advice. I'm not your stock guru. I'm not your stock advisor. I'm just giving you information in which you can make a decision from. I, Joseph, am invested in Urban One. I do hold shares in Urban One. I don't work for the company. I don't have cousins and family that work for the company, but I am invested. I'm not telling you this to make myself more money. I just want you to know about the opportunity. Point blank, if everything duplicates last year, we're talking about a 1,000 to 2,000% jump, leap within a week or two when we get to June. It could go further because of the casino news. It could go further because of all the anniversaries, the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa massacre. So much can happen that there's a window of opportunity to invest. So what's the price you should buy in? That's up to you. I'm not going to tell you, but just know that we're not at the point where we're seeing 100% gains in one day. We're not seeing 200% gains in one day. We're not seeing 1,000% gains. Everything's going back and forth a little bit. So pay attention to Urban One. If you're a person that likes to invest in the stock market, don't miss out on Urban One. It looks like it's going to go again this year, but it may not. I'm just saying, make sure you pay attention, because if this goes up 1,000, 2,000%, I'll be happy. I don't know if you will, but I know I'll be happy. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll invest, maybe you won't. Let me know if you're already invested, if you already have shares. Let me know if you were just thinking about it. Let me know what you think about this whole situation. Do you think they're going to squeeze like they did before? Do you think a bunch of people are going to pile in and make this the next GameStop, make this the next AMC? Because technically this is before AMC and GameStop, but people didn't recognize it as a short squeeze. But now with so many people understanding short squeezes, is this the next one to go? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, keep the conversation going. Ask other people around you. Let me know what they think. I appreciate your support. Again, subscribe, like, share, And until the next time, have a good one.